Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Arts and Wellness Cafe. And I think this might have to be a theme out here in the lush greenery of the garden. And this is a real important part of. I was just looking to see how I'm set up. Um, an important part of my day to day, and I think I'll let go of this now. But look how pretty these are actually leaves. This is a bougainvillea, and the flowers are actually right at the end. They produce leaves in different colors, but that's the flower at the end. But the leaves actually are red and green, obviously. But it's such a beautiful plant, and they do come in a variety of other colors, which I've yet to get. I want orange, white. I think there's a kind of a deeper red than this, and maybe even a purple. I don't know. Maybe I've hallucinated it. But it's also a nice time of the afternoon when, the sun is not so hot. There's more shadow over the garden. I don't ordinarily come out here and work as I would in the morning, but it's a nice time to just enjoy the environment and enjoy the surroundings, and also to they call it, well, we haven't got a forest, but forest bathing, but bathing under the shade of the plants and the trees and just soaking up that goodness. So, as I say, yeah, the garden part of the Arts and Wellness Cafe is an important aspect because it is a place where I come and I'm nurturing myself. I'm reminding myself of all of God's creation and all of the things that I have, that I can be a steward of this space. And it's important for me to leave the space better than I find it. Obviously, I'm not going to be here for, there's a limited amount of time. We'll say what, 30 summers, 29 summers, who knows? It might be even 40. And we're not going to put a cap on it, but I want this space to be brimming with fruit, brimming with medicinal plants, and brimming with those things that when somebody comes into this space, they feel nurtured. And I think that we should do that with every space that we go into. We leave it better than we found it. Or the interactions we have with people, we leave them better than we find them. We impart something that's inspiring or motivating or encouraging. So I do have this in my hand because I was going to pick some branches from my moringa tree, because one of the things there's several things I like doing with it. Making tea, using the drumsticks and using them as a vegetable. I use the leaves and I make moringa bakes. So I make bakes or fried dumplings or johnny cakes, as we would say in Jamaica, and I incorporate the moringa, and it's really nice. I like it. It's a nice snack with, say, breakfast or addition to breakfast, or a snack in the evening, whatever, any time of the day. So one of the things that I'm doing in the garden is just collating all of the plants that I have that have medicinal benefits, and one of them is noni, and I use that all the time. I do cut that into strips and use it in cooking, and I also use it as a tea. You can ferment the fruits and use that. I've got some fruits fermenting. They've been fermented for quite a while, but I use the tea. I try and use it at least every morning and evening, and that's the first thing I have or the last thing I have, and it really does. If you've not tried it yet, I'm not a doctor. I trained as a complementary therapist, so I do understand about nutrition, um, massage therapy, some herbal, using essential oils. And I guess I lean more on the herbal now because I've got my a larger space to plant all the things that I know that will have a beneficial effect. So how does this impact in terms of arts and well-being? Well, it's, finding ways to be creative in a green space. So I look towards nature for my inspiration, and that might be visually. So the greenery that I have around me, the different plants, the different heights attract the birds, the parakeets. I counted 9 in the garden today, this morning. The birds that decide to build their nests, the sounds that you hear, visually looking at the different types of leaves. I've then incorporated leaves into my studio. So I work with the sea grape leaves, I work with the scaevola, not scaevola, the trumpet leaves, and we'll have a look at some of these, and I will share them with you. And maybe we do spend most of the time out in here, because I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to just have an episode where we're out in the greenery? And I will go as long as I don't get bitten up by the mosquitoes and sandflies, because it's kind of about that time. But yeah, so I thought I'd stop here first. But so those are the things that I use as inspiration in my garden space. We've got 3 birds' nests, 3 birds that have decided to come and dwell with us for a while. As I say, we have more and more parakeets. I've grown these trees around me, which are the moringa trees. I've grown them extra tall, and I don't use any of the pods. I just leave these for the birds, the carpenter bees, the banana quits, the parakeets. Love the seeds from the drumsticks that come from the moringa. And as I say, the shapes of the leaves, using the leaves in a creative project, drying some of the fibers, looking at how we can use the fiber. And I'm growing some palms, different types of palms, so that I can use the leaves from that. And I've been very blessed that that's one of the things that the birds keep leaving me. They keep dropping potential palm trees in the garden, and sometimes they drop it just in the right space. So what we're going to do is just have a little wander around, and I hope that you feel inspired by looking at some of the things that I'm going to share with you and talk about how I use them and be inspired as much as I am when I'm out in here. And I'm going to put this down. I'll cut the moringa afterwards, and yeah, let's just have a nice time in this green space for the Arts and Wellness Cafe. Why not? And I'll show you, yes, the moringa, and the noni. I'll just show you bits and pieces, and you can have a look and just take a wander with me. Okay, so you ready? Come on then. So these are the 2. There's a moringa tree here. It's very, very, very long, very big. And so yeah, it's home to the hummingbirds, the banana quits. We have there's another one over there. We have like a brown coloured bird, the parakeets, and I have been lucky to have seen a blue parakeet. We normally get the green ones, but I have been lucky enough to see a blue one and a red one. And that's my seat there that I often sit. on, the ants have been at it, and it's only got 3 legs, so I need to repair that. So that's where we've just come from, and yeah, see the colours. Now I had planted the bougainvillea there. I had got a cut in and I put it there just so that I can decide where I wanted it, and then it just grew really big, and you should be able to see, I think the birds have left this nest now, so you can see the remnants of the nest. So let's go over and see some of the other plants. I thought I'd show you this one. This one, I think it's a Dracania. I've got if you go onto my Creative Gardener channel, but I wanted to see how tall this can get, and yes, it can get very tall. So I've been clipping it back. I haven't yet found a use in terms of in the studio for these leaves. Some leaves don't, decompose very well. I mean, this particular one is going, it goes brown, and we've got some there. But yeah, I haven't really been using them. And then I was telling you about the palms. See, we've got one there, one there, one there, but what they've been doing is scattering them all around the garden, and I was able to pick up a number of look, we've got one over here. So these particular ones, I'm going to leave them, and it will be nice when this particular area is supposed to be kind of, I need more rocks, and I need marl, and I think I need some sort of tiles or some sort of flat rock or slate. I'm not sure, but this was supposed to be staggered like a stairway because it was just slanted, and I've over time just been gathering the rocks and laying it down. So they've planted just on either side, so I'm going to leave them there. But this is an activity, like being outside, being in the sun, doing some sort of exercise, and then you go back and then you do something in your studio. And this is a creative activity because I had to imagine it first in my head. The whole garden, I imagined how I wanted it to look, how I wanted it to feel, and the overriding thing was that I needed to hear the sounds of the birds. I needed different layers, and obviously the different layers is the thing that attracts the birds and attracts the wildlife. So we've got like the wood pigeons, the turtle doves as well that come. So there's a variety of different wildlife that come and enjoy the space, that sing their songs, that the fluttering of the hummingbirds' wings, or when they sit and they chirp, or seeing the young ones. I think Cole was just having not a mud bath, but a roll around. And so, it was really enjoyable to be able to imagine what I wanted. And even this space, it's not yet how I can see it in my mind. I've just got to learn the skills to then bring it to life. Unless there's somebody out there who knows exactly what to do and wants to lend a hand. But at the end of the day, I'm taking my time, I'm learning, I'm on a very controlled budget. There's no budget whatsoever. So as the ground shifts, more and more rocks become evident, and I've just been placing them there, and then it goes back a bit further, so there's a whole space over there with some marl and things like that. So I'm just taking my time, but as I say, imagining what you want. And if you think about this for your just generally creativity, when you're doing some sort of creative activity, it's about imagining what it is you think you want, and then I write everything down and then try and put it into place. And that's what's happened here. I knew I wanted, as I say, I wanted colour. I mean, yes, you can mostly see green now, but we've got the pops of red, as you can see there. When I've got a passion fruit growing here, and it's wrapped around another plant, and that plant produces pale yellow and white flowers. The passion fruit has got purple flowers. There's a little hummingbird that stopped in there. This is an apple blossom tree, produces pink flowers, and then we've got the Mexican sunflower, which produces yellow flowers. There's some just in the back there, you can see pops of their colour. So there's a variety of different colours in the space. The aloes, you can see one here, but when we, oh, let's turn around very slowly, I don't want to make you feel like, look at the aloes. So the aloes gives us yellow, and look, there's a banana quit on that one over there with the yellow breast, and that just makes you feel amazing just to know that, you know, I've got the bees, the wasps coming into the garden, I've got the banana quits getting the nectar, whatever it's getting from there, the animals, the birds also help with pests. And look at the moringa flowers, they're white. We've got the neem tree here, it's producing some flowers, but I have to trim this one. But it's just teeming with life, and I imagined every part of this. And for the aloes, it seems like it's taken over, but I had wanted the aloes to be along each path. So this, if you've never been on my gardening channel, it's split into 3 sections. So this is the first section, that was the first side that I'd started working on. And we've got this section here, sorry, 4 sections. We've got this section here, and then I've got my, it was my moringa patch. Let's just quickly, this was my moringa patch, and I planted about 30 moringa trees basically, because I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna, you know, a production line. But oh, and we've got the pinkish flowers from the clammer cherry just there. I need to trim this one as well. Oh look, there's another bird's nest. This one is just on its way out because it had built its nest here, and it looks like the young has already come out, and then it starts to disintegrate. And I've got another one just in front of my studio. But yeah, so this is the noni tree. This is what I have. I take the leaves, and they're looking a bit tatty. There's something that bites them. So I started to pick the untouched leaves and sometimes there's something on the back. So ones that haven't been bitten, I would take it off. Here's the fruit, if you are not familiar with the fruit. And when it becomes more translucent, you can ferment them. I've seen some people eat them on YouTube, like they're a piece of fruit. Well, I get it is fruit, but I haven't been tempted. And then I've got some young down at the bottom, so where the seeds have dropped, we've got a few plants there. I've got to, you know, do something with them. But I swear by it. As I say, I'm not giving you any medical advice, but it is good for your immune system. We are going through a dry phase, so it's looking a bit, yeah, the leaves don't normally look like that. They're usually nice and green. So I'm just gonna probably take a small one. There's a fruit that it's been eaten, but that's what it looks like, and that's all the seeds. So when I said translucent, that's what it looks like when it's translucent. And then you just take those, put it in a glass jar, and you can start fermenting them. Okay, so this is the space that I am working with, and then I've got some additional space behind there that I'm going to be putting some raised beds, some more fruit trees, and look behind me as well. So we're doing, well, me, myself and I are doing some more with here, but it is so nice just to be able to discover new plants. So the birds sent me a bulb. This is a crinium lily. I've mainly got the other ones, which you can see here. Oh, and some of the plants that I didn't say are things like henna. So this is one that I transplanted here. I took a cut in, and this has been growing really well, but I don't want them growing any taller than this in this side. And here we have the crinium lily, and look at the bulbs on that. All of those potential plants. I think one of them has, oh look, see, has bent over there. So what I need to do is rescue that, and so cut this one and decide where I want them around the garden. But they're producing really well. So I've got about, I think 20 maybe, and then 20 in a pot that I've taken the bulbs from. So that's the bulbs, you just plant it and it will grow. So we've got then all the bulbs. I've got some more behind me as well, and it's to decide where they're gonna go, because the flowers on that, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, and the smell is absolutely amazing. Here is my banana patch. I've just picked some really nice bananas. Well, not just picked. I'm coming to the end of the amount of bananas. I picked them about a month ago and just been munching them. And somebody said they were buffet bananas. That here's the other crinium lilies that I've grown from small plants, and now they're having young themselves, and they're looking very tired because they're very dry. One thing I said to the plants was that you're going to get everything you need from the ground. We had a lot of rain yesterday, and so this one is a baby, and I'll show you the mother plant. So all of these came from the mother plant I'm going to show you, and they're having young of their own. So all those and are additional plants, and so it's about being or creating the space for yourself so that you can thrive, you can nurture, you can encourage yourself. And if I'm, feeling, oh my gosh, I've spent too long at the computer because I'm trying to share things on social media, it's like, come out into the garden. I mean, Cole, where'd he go? He's back there. So Cole, he's like, he won't come into this space unless I'm with him. So it's just like, okay, let's go out. And then when I'm here, it's just like, oh, it feels so good. This feels so good right now, just being here. Let me show you the mother plant. So here was the mother plant, and I was walking along, which beach was it? It was along the Broadwalk, and there was it looked like 100 all lined up, and I saw a bulb and I picked it up and we brought it home, and the rest is history. It has produced all of the crinium lilies that we have in the garden, and it's a great grandmother. And it produces a beautiful scent. It's so gorgeous. I love it. Let me show you the other thing that the birds left. You see here, these are all palms. So they had climbed one of the tall trees, not climbed, I flew into one of the tall trees. There's some more there. So all of these are palms that need to be planted out. And the one of the other prides of the garden is the elephant ears. And I've got, as you can see, fan palm at the back. So looking at how people traditionally use the plants, the fibers, and trying to create those things. How can you become more self-sustaining in your environment? And what is it that you can pass on to the younger generation? I'm proud to say that my son is now becoming really interested in this is another palm here, and we've got some fan palms here, and these were all brought by the birds. But he's becoming interested in, you know, growing stuff and having a little garden, and that's where it starts. You know, I mean, I grew up, we had a balcony. These are other crinium lilies that need to be it was just like one day, it was just, I went and saw all the bulbs, and I was just like, let me put them in a pot, because they were being munched on by the snails and the slugs, and I haven't yet found a spot for them. Here's my noni leaf that I've planted. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. I'm going back to country living. So going back to the spaces that make you feel alive, make you feel connected with nature, and that's something that, for me, my creativity, my art, being out here in nature is something that it nurtures me. And as I say, you know, we started out, we grew up, we didn't have a garden, we had a balcony, and my mum would keep houseplants, and she had, you know, pots on the balcony and was growing stuff. And then we had the tropical plants like the banana plant, and we had a Swiss cheese plant in the house. But I didn't have space to grow any, you know, like on this scale. And then to be able to start growing bay leaf, you know, moringa, Suriname cherry, lemongrass. It's just been a really, it's been one of my favorite, I was going to say, it's been one of my favorite times, but I feel blessed to be able to do that, and blessed to be able to find different uses. The calamancherry, which the phone's sitting in, the berries, the fruit, was also used as a glue to glue the kites, the papers on the kites, and in, you know, young kids. Not glue in young kids, but the kids would glue the kites. Anyway, but finding all of those kind of things out, and how can we, I think the most important thing for me now is learning about how I can use these things not only for my health and well-being, but in a creative way. And what needs to be documented? What can I document about what I find? This necklace was carved by me. It was from I'm not sure whether you can see it now. You can't see it behind there, but we've got a mahogany tree that is on its last legs, unfortunately, at the moment. But I took a branch, and it's such a hard wood that this is the most that I could do. The kind of wood that I work with now is the moringa, which is a soft wood, so you can carve it, you can cut it, you can burn into it. And I use it in the studio. I use it as when I'm making wall hangings, I use it as the dowel. I burn into it, burn patterns. And so, as I say, what is it that we are leaving behind? So when I'm gone from all of this, what will the memory of me be? And what will be documented? So, you know, there may be the videos, if YouTube's still running, if we're still using videos by then. But what, you know, in terms of the written form, what is it we need to do? And I think we need to really be thinking about that what is it we are going to be leaving behind? What mark is it that we are leaving on the world? And when I look at all the things that I create, how can I encourage somebody? So can I encourage somebody to say, go out in their green space because they were feeling off? And I do that when I'm feeling off, and I come and I find a little patch of grass that's not too muddy, and I take my shoes off and I just stand in. It's almost like recharging yourself, grounding yourself in the space, coming and just standing out here and just listening. And being nurtured, not only being in this environment, but also the food that we get. I'm standing in front of, this is a hog plum, and hopefully we will have more fruit. We've currently got 3 branches filled with blooms coming up. The fruit that was there, the one fruit that grew on it last year, something came just before I was picking it and went off with it. So the importance of us, the legacy that we leave, from the things that we say, the things that we do, the things that we try and impart to others. We have to keep documenting our story. We have to keep telling our story and sharing it, and sharing the highs and the lows. And I don't think I don't have very many lows. The lows might be if something's eaten the fruit, or there's an overrun with slugs, or yeah, something just hasn't grown as well. Like I was growing what are they, peppers, and they were all coming up and I was going to plant them out, and then the next day during the night a slug had just wipe the whole lot out. So that's kind of disappointing. But there's so many blessings that I've had. The sunshine, getting my vitamin D. There's so many blessings that I've had out here, just working with the birds. Like, you know, it's just amazing. The working with the challenges, the slope of a garden, and it's sloped in 2 directions. So how would I plant? You know, being able to harvest food from the garden. I'm not the things that I normally harvest are like the green leafy vegetables and the moringa mostly. But I've had bananas, I've had Suriname cherries, delicious, papaya, all the things that I never imagined that I would be able to grow. She stand here. And as the sun sets and I think about my time spent out here, and I think about, you know, again, what is it I want to leave? I want to leave this space so the next person that comes is just like overwhelmed with the medicinal plants, the variety of plants. There's over 300 plants now in this space that I've planted, and as I say, the birds have been very generous, and I think the parakeets have been bringing me almonds. It's just like I've got 2 almond trees growing now. But I think I've always said I wanted to grow an almond tree and produce the almonds rather than having to go and buy them. And they keep just dropping them here. And it's just like, okay, I'm not growing anymore. Let's, the plant that we've got, let that, you know, start producing. I think I produced the one recently. But yes, so I want to encourage you. If you've got a creative space, or if you don't have a creative space, make one. It might be a space outside. It might be, you know, some people say, oh, I'm not creative. And it's just like, creativity is not just about doing art and doing visual art. It's everything. It's part and parcel of your life. It's not, I don't separate anything that I do. Like, oh yeah, I'm only creative when I'm in the studio. But I'm creative out here. Landscaping, deciding, okay, no, you need to move, or actually I need to make space for something else, or you're not doing so well. You know, what do the birds need? What do the plants need? You know, do they need to be mulched? As it gets dry, they need to have more covering. So, you know, and just in my general day-to-day, creativity is within everything I do, the things that I think about, the decisions I make. You know, I use that creative part of myself, and also, well, the left and right brain side, you know, you use them in unison. So if you don't have a space, start to make one. You know, if you don't have a garden, get a pot. If you don't have a great big studio, you know, get a corner, you know, get one of those plastic bins and then put all your stuff in there. If you don't have a physical space that you can say, I can leave these things out, and then every time you open it, you create the space wherever you go, that, you know, creative space with all your art supplies. And yeah, I just want to encourage you this month to really think about not only spending time with your creativity, so spending time doing an activity, whether it's in your art journal or you know, painting, drawing, listening to music, dancing, but also the green space, finding some green space, nurturing that green space. Even if you've just got a concrete patio, get a couple of pots, you know, a little balcony, get some pots and start growing something small, something easy to start with, and then expand as you go along. And yeah, I really want to encourage you to not separate, you know, like I can only be creative in this place, but look at all of the spaces that you're in. And I especially want you to think about, as we come to a close and I let you go, I want you to think about the legacy that you're leaving, the stories that you tell, the things that the younger generation are going to pick up from us, that they pick up from us anyway, but the stories that you're going to tell and how you're going to document it. It's important that you use the resources that you've got around you. You've got everything that you need to write that book. Yes, you know who you are. You know that you've been told many times, let me come in. You know that you've been told many times to write that book. You've got poems sitting around. Gather the poems. You've got drawings, paintings. You want to do more. I've got loads of free resources. Come and join me on my course platform. There's, you know, there may be something for you there. The YouTube videos, my blog posts, and you know, it's staged so that if you need to know more, if you want to know more, you can. If you want to take a course, you can. But there are so many resources that are there for free, and all of the Arts and Wellness cafes that I've got here on the channel. But it's time now. We're running out of time. Time is speeding up, and we're all getting older. So I want you to make a promise, and I want you to leave a comment and tell me what it is. that you will start doing the thing that you've always promised that you would do. Yeah? You're going to start. And I want to hear what that is. I want to hear what that will be for you. You could decide to learn a language. You know, you could decide to start playing an instrument. And those are both things that I want to incorporate into all that I do. I want to learn 3 languages. And I thought to myself, if I start learning a language in 2 years' time, I could be fluent. So if I learn, 3 languages, that's 6 years. 6 years is going to come and go anyway, so you might as well be found doing something. Let yourself be found working and doing what you need to do, because time is of the essence, and there's so many people that are waiting to be blessed by you, to be inspired by you, encouraged, to hear your story, to see your journey, and that will kickstart them on their journey because they know that they're not alone. Anyway, yeah. So I look forward to hearing from you. It's been a bit longer in the Arts and Wellness Cafe. I'm going to make a cup of noni tea, and all I do is I will take a piece of this, add it to some hot water, and just feel the benefits of it. Noni, soursop, even banana, I think, clamacherry even, mango leaf, Suriname cherry leaf, bay leaf, all wonderful properties, and that's why I grow them, because I know that there's I could start again. We can. Well, this is, as I say, this is one of my favourite spaces. But I'm going to be doing something called Bush Tea Remedies and on my gardening channel, and I'd love you to join me, where we talk about some of the plants, the nutritional benefits, the benefits for teas. So the bush teas, we grew up with our gran making bush tea. She had an extra secret ingredient I'll share one day. But suffice to say, yeah, and we've all got stories of bush teas that our parents or grandparents used to make. And I make a selection of bush tea, but I'll tell you what's in it. So noni's one of them. And I've got a whole list of teas that I make just for myself and family, and yeah, it's something again that I'm going to document and share, and you never know where that is going to lead you. So without further ado, let us get on, and I hope to hear from you, and I hope you let me know what it is you're going to be doing. Take care for now.